When it comes to Thomas merchandise lines with the most intriguing train sets, my honest vote has to go to Thomas Wooden Railway. While I prefer TOMY and Playrail as my main brands of choice, I can't deny Thomas Wooden Railway's lineup is more impressive overall. To give an example, let's look at the Lift and Load set. Released in 2001, this set provided just about everything you needed in a definitive Thomas Wooden Railway set, with plenty of characters, track, and destinations. But let's get down to brass tacks and see if it has the same effect when converted to TOMY. First things first, let's see how this set turns out when built off the design of the Wooden Railway version. Right away, there are a lot of bridge pieces and overlapping lines, so making an exact copy will be a challenge. We'll start off simple. First, let's tackle the barrel loader loop. This one is very easy. A set of curves and a quarter straight here, then some larger straights, a few more curves, and a male-to-male adapter into this switch. Then 2 more switches and a curve to close the gap here. Moving on to the front of the set, we'll need one of the Big Thomas switches here, and then a couple of connecting pieces here. For the small bridge, I used 1 straight and 4 curve rails, a few piers, and the slope rails to finish it off. For the covered bridge, I used the Tomica World road tunnel placed on top of 2 suspension bridge piers. Ideally, I would have used this tunnel from the E7 Kagayaki basic set, but this setup works fine as well. Quick interjection to the main video, you actually can put the tunnel on top of normal Playrail piers. I don't know why I wasn't able to do this before when I was initially building the set and playtesting it, but you don't have to use the suspension bridge piers, you could just use the normal one. On the other side of the bridge, the line stretches around to the conductor's house water tower. Moving down towards the middle, we've got a single to double switch, straight, curve, and half straight rail, and track stop for the cargo crane, which I represented with Cranky on a double bridge pier. Then comes the big bridge, which really makes life difficult. It can be done the same as the original set, but forces this section here to take most of the major changes. Instead of the junction looking like this, it's got an H-shaped switch and then a turnout at this angle to make things work. Next, I added 5 trees and 2 signals like the original set, with an additional tree to replace the railroad crossing sign. Lastly came the characters. Thomas, James, Toby, and Oliver are on the rails, with Terrence on the side. Since TOMY never made Catherine, I substituted her 2 pieces with Annie and Clarabelle. James received a troublesome truck, Oliver got the log car, and Toby got a hopper car. With the full set built and in action, it's a bit bare right now. Overall, I'm surprised such a complex design could be brought over this accurately from Wooden Railway to TOMY, albeit with minor tweaks. But the lack of destinations to lift and load around the set is holding this grand design back right now. So let's make some changes and really turn this into a TOMY lift and load set. Right away, I knew there would need to be some changes to the track. The right side of the hill was converted into a spiral to save on space. This change allowed me to add in the Sodor quarry loader in place of the log loader. Since the quarry loader doesn't work both ways and engines can sometimes get stuck if they go through backwards, I put an auto switch here with the point set to go around. Going this way leads to a split with the outer line going through the water and coal loader in place of the grain loader, and then up and around on the small bridge, back down to the auto switch. Going the inside route takes us past the conductor's house with the water tower, and then through the harbor, which has replaced the cargo crane. With the siding line now on the opposite end with the conductor's house, both lines on the harbor converge and lead under the small bridge either up to the big bridge or around to the airfield drop site, but we'll come back to that. Going over the big bridge takes you up, over, and then around down on the spiral, past the quarry loader and onto the auto switch. Continuing this way takes us past Terrence's action scene, which accommodates his inclusion better for TOMY, but then we'll take this switch here, under the small bridge, and back around to Harold, going in the correct direction. All of the engines from the original set return. Thomas retains Annie and Clarabelle. Toby now has the quarry tipper car and Henrietta. James has a troublesome truck and the log car, and Oliver gets Scruffy and Toad. The trees and signals stay the same, and Terrence is covered on his scene. I did consider trying to make this set work to have 2 engines running at once like I did with the Thomas Mega set, but in the end, I decided that keeping the original track design was the better option. However, considering the amount of stop sections available, you can technically have all 4 engines running at once, with the ability to choose which engines go where in sequence. Overall, this set is crazy, with a rich selection of engines and lots of fun tracks for them to take. Just like the Wooden Railway set, the concept of lifting and loading is conveyed well here, with all the destinations doing just that. Definitely a 10 out of 10. So there we have the Thomas Wooden Railway lift and load set. I had originally wanted to cover this one several months ago, but I didn't have the Herald cargo delivery destination to replace the barrel loader with. So I held off until I got one and could do this video properly. The conductor's house was also a really nice piece I originally hadn't included. It definitely beats having the long and cumbersome steam-along Thomas water tower wedged in the middle like I had originally designed it. Ultimately, the layout in this version of the video is the best result, but maybe if I can find the original layout pictures I took, I'll do a little tour of that for channel members. We'll just have to wait and see if I find it. But for now, as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't be a stinker, and have a great day.